Welcome back to another episode of Playing Every Golf Course in Essex, and today we're in Witham at Rivenhall Oaks Golf Centre, a friendly family-run venue with really welcoming feel from the moment you arrive. Now, before we got started with any golf, you know the deal, ladies and gents. We had to check out the food, and since I'm still persisting with eating healthy, I couldn't resist their smashed avocado with poached eggs on toast. It definitely passed both the yolk test and the taste test. Once that was polished off, I headed to the driving range behind the clubhouse to warm up, hit a few balls, rode a couple of practice putts, and then it was time to see what the course was all about. Rivenhall Oaks has two sets of nines you can play. You've got the Acorns course, which is actually a 9-hole par 3 layout that's ideal for beginners or for dialing in your wedge play. But today we're focusing on the Oaks course, a par 35 full-length layout that could be looped twice for a full 18-hole experience. Rivenhall is actually the first 9-hole setup that's made it onto the series, so I was intrigued to see how it might play as an 18, whether it would feel repetitive or just have some variety to it. And you know what? I was actually really pleased to see they've thought that through. They've got different tee positions here to mix things up. We played the front nine from the back white tees, and then we switched to the blue tees on the back nine. The blues were slightly further forward, but positioned at different points and angles, which was brilliant because it added a completely fresh look to holes you've already played once. A really good example of this was the par 3 fourth. Off the whites is about 200-yard shot coming in from the right, whereas if the blues is about 170 yards coming in from the left. And you see that variety throughout the round, which really keeps things interesting. Now, Rivenhall might look like a straightforward test of the eye, fairly open, inviting, but it's actually deceptively tricky. There's trouble lurking everywhere. Bunkers placed in really strategic spots across the fairways, dog legs that can easily catch you out, and a decent amount of water around some greens waiting to punish anything wayward. Because of that, I think it's a brilliant little challenge for golfers of all abilities. Fair fun and just the right balance between forgiving and testing. And don't get me wrong, there is definitely holes out there that to be scored on, like the par 5 6, where birdies and ingles were raining hard on us in the great. But then you've got the tiny par 3 8, only about 100 yards long, but missed a green and you're in all sorts of trouble. And I tell you what, look, I actually scored less on the par 5 playing it twice in 8 shots than I did on that par 3, which took me 9. Condition-wise, I was really surprised how good the course looked. The tee box was exactly how I liked them. Cut well and nice and flat. The fairways, considering the recent weather, were in great nick and lovely to play off. And look, the greens, they look fantastic to the eye, but look, I think they were a little bit on the slow side. But I think the club know what they need to do there, and I think next year we'll see an improvement. As for the cost to play here, look, green fees are really decent value, around 15 to 25 quid for 18 holes midweek, depending on your age, and about 35 quid for adults and £18 for juniors at the weekend. Look, you can just play the 9 for less, of course, or even grab their breakfast and golf deal, a full English and around for 32 quid midweek or £42 on weekends, which you really can't knock, and it gives you the perfect excuse to try the breakfast out, just like me. It was a shaky start with 3 doubles, but I clawed it back for an 83, and I reckon I'll go lower next time. But look, Rivenhall's relaxed, great value and a fun spot for all golfers. But that is episode 39 done. Have you played it before? And where should I play next?